I can't believe Nikola Jokic is still doing this. So a couple of days ago, I made a video titled Nikola Jokic is not human. And the reason I made that video is because I'm like, he has had back-to-back triple doubles in games where they're winning by so much because of how, a lot of it because of how he's playing, that he's sitting in the fourth. He's not only done that again, he's done it again. Nikola Jokic right now has recorded 4 straight triple doubles and not played in the fourth quarter. 4 without playing in the fourth quarter. It is madness what this guy's doing. Like, there is no player on the planet better than Nikola Jokic. Look, at this stage, I don't know if he wins MVP. I really don't, because look, what Shea's doing is incredible. Don't they have a better record? So, obviously, that is a factor. As much as people want to say, oh, like, the record isn't a factor, it is. And for the first time in his career, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored more than 50 points. He had 54. 54, going up to 32 points per game. And that's so much more than Nikola Jokic's 30. Oh, he's down to 30. Basically, because he's not playing. he's not playing fourth quarters. Like, Jokic is playing 37 games. He is shooting... he's shooting 56% of the field and 47.5% from 3. He's averaging 13 boards. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he's third in points, third in rebounds, second in assists. And second in 3-point percentage to Domantas Sabonis. Like, we've never seen anything like this man right here. And look, I actually don't begrudge giving Shai Gilgeous-Alexander an MVP. While, look, I'm not one for voter fatigue. I do think that if it's a real tight race and it's hard to make a decision, you give it to a person who's never won. The fact is, Luka Doncic might go his entire career without winning an MVP. There is no way in hell that Luka Doncic did not deserve to win last year's MVP. I will go to my grave saying that Luka Doncic was the obvious MVP last year, and he's probably not going to win one. And that's just reality. But there is no question about it who the best player in the world is. Like, I was last year, I was on Team Luka. And then, obviously, as the year went on, I was like, I think I'd said something. I'm like, look, I give up. Jokic is the best player. And then Luka went on one knee and then we did in the playoffs. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Luka is the best player in the world. But, they're the 2 best, in my opinion. They are the 2 best players in the world. But, this is absurd. Shai still getting MVP. Probably is. MVP is a player award, not a team award. I'm sorry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 32 points per game on a team that is 36-7. They're no longer on track to win 70 games, but they're probably going to win, 67 games? Tied best record in the NBA without Chet Holmgren as well. That has to be taken into account. They're 7 games up. What becomes really interesting is the fact that the Nuggets are only 2 games off the Rockets. And it's a big if, by the end of the year, the Nuggets get to the 2nd seed. And this is going to be one of the hardest MVPs ever to call. Because I think Giannis, as good as Giannis has been, I think it's another one of situations where he's top 5 in the MVP race again, which is not quite in that conversation. And as good as Giannis has been, I think that's where he's been this year. I honestly think that's where Giannis Antetokounmpo has been this year with the Bucks, to be honest. But what Nikola Jokic is doing is stuff we've never seen before. If he ends the season with this stat line and can get those stat assists up to 10, he's averaged a 30-point triple-double on a 2nd seed while shooting 56% from the field and 47% from 3. If he, and they're on a huge win streak. And yeah, I get it. Look, they killed Philadelphia. They beat Orlando. Miami aren't a terrible team. They killed the Dallas Mavericks. Heck, against Dallas, he had 10, and 14. And the worst part is this man is not stat padding at all. And you might be saying, oh, he is stat padding. Look at how much he has the ball in his hands. Yeah, well, he needs to have the freaking ball in his hands. As well as that, he's revived Russell Westbrook's career. He's turned Russell Westbrook again, not into an all-star, but into a quality starting level player, Jamal Murray's come back into things. Like Denver 8-2 in their last 10, and it's finally clicking. Aaron Gordon's been back, I think, but like Aaron Gordon was injured at the start of the year, and yeah, the Denver Nuggets did not have the greatest start to the year. They really didn't. Like, they were down as the 10th seed at one stage, but like if they fight their way up to 2, no matter how many more wins OKC has, it becomes real tough not to give Nikola Jokic his 4th MVP, because again, in my opinion, Jokic is at the peak of his power, and Jokic is at the he's in that Kevin Durant bracket of top players, as in not quite top 10. Like I have like my top, say, 12, which is like, for me, like the kind of 7 through 12 range with like Shaq, Hakeem, Kobe, who else would be in that range? Steph, obviously, Larry Bird, like all of those type of players. Magic Johnson for me is in that range. Maybe Steph is a bit higher, to be honest. I have Steph above Magic. But like, you've got, say, like Jokic, who is a tier below. Jokic for me is in the Dr. J, Kevin Durant, Oscar Robertson tier of players. And he's only getting started. He's at the peak of his power and he's getting better. He's getting better, which is scary. And the way he plays the game, he does not rely on athleticism. He doesn't rely on anything. Jokic could realistically play till he's 45 if he wants to. Like, he walks around. He's one of the slowest players in the league. He is, as far as I'm aware, the literal lowest recorded vertical leap in NBA history. And he is the best player in the world by a lot. Like, I love Shea as a player. I really like Luka. What Nikola Jokic can do, we saw in the Olympics. You literally just need him. There is no other player in the NBA, right, we've seen since prime LeBron James, where it's like, you need just this guy and surround him with anybody, and he makes you contenders. That is how good Nikola Jokic is. And like, players that are like the greatest players of all time are ones that, even if you just put them with a bunch of guys, they are contenders. Your Jordans. LeBron has proven he's done it. And Jokic. They're in that. Like, as far as like the greatest offensive player, for me, Nikola Jokic is a better offense. KD's a better scorer. Kobe's a better scorer. He's a much better offensive player than both of them. He's a just all-around offense. He is the best offensive player I have seen in my lifetime by a decent chunk. Luka Doncic is right up there too. Obviously, Kobe much greater on defense. Maybe I'm too young to remember dominant Shaq, but like, outside of Jordan, he's probably the best offensive player ever, and maybe including Jordan when you take into account the totality of the offense and the fact that, like, just literally, you don't even need to surround him with NBA players. If you surround him with a bunch of professional basketball players, they're all able to shoot, cut, and have high IQ. They don't even need to be NBA players. He could literally be any NBA team. That is how good this man is. But anyway, I'll see you guys.